Today's video is about Rust Legacy, the video game from 2013. Yet again, I'm sorry if some of you were annoyed by this, and we're currently halo jumping into what's called Crater Valley in at least one of the files. We're going to be up on that peak over there and that kind of a peak over there in a minute, and we're at position 5800 negative, which is towards the top, at 3000 for altitude, and 0 for the east and west position, meaning this should be the exact middle of the map here. And I suspect that if we looked around, since we're in a very prominent visual area, you know, this is the I'm going to say impact crater, that this mound on top, which is consistent with impact craters, that we're right on top of an asteroid impact. And yes, I'll always bring that up when people bring up the game. Now, the utility I'm using is called Rusty, and I'm going to complain about the user interface and design of it for things that are really pertinent in a minute, but right now I have to deal with it because even if I grab the top bar, it has stolen focus to a model dialog. If you write video games or any program and have a response for functions you might use repeatedly that requires one more step of interaction called stopping the proceedings with stupidity, don't. Put these in for test purposes. This is for debugging purposes. I understand that. Telling me it worked isn't something I need to see. I should be able to disable it in the settings. I can't, unless the author chooses to add that in and update their product. Also, on your About page, you have rustytrackthedead.com, sadfaceco.uk, and facewound as pseudonames for everything here. And it's a cool product. It's one of my favorites because it just is a lot less trouble doing any of this. It really is much better. Okay, I understand that. And originally this started off being a utility exclusively for a specific group of people running only one Rust server, but now it's universal. I like this. It's great. But if I click this button here, or face wound, it doesn't give me an indication that it will then crash your product. Please don't make software that has anything in it that relies on some other website or some other server always being in working condition. That is not a reality on the internet. Next, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to show you a screenshot of the title screen that comes up when we run this particular server I'm running, because this one had the ability to have add-ons. Not all of them that I need, but it's a really good start. Anyway, this is called Fougerite version 1.5, etc. Listed as being by a lot of people, and I'm going to read the credits out loud here, but we're going to talk about the modules added in. Rust++ or Rust PP by xent22, Mike C. and Dretax. DRETAX is the main one. YouTuber, etc. I'll have links to this below. Glitch Fix by Dretax. Another one called Drop++, plugin by some unknown person. Need to know who that is. Module Magma plugin, which is a predecessor to Fougerite, etc. by Riquetta, Mike C, xent without the 22, and Equifox. Then we have auth-allow, the one I'm using now that allows me to play the game. I'll be getting to that rant in a minute. By Shadow. And it works, by the way. Destroy System plugin by Dretax, which was very much appreciated. Lots of them have something like this where you can essentially recycle things that you put into the game or just pick them up. So it should be recycle or destroy or pick up, which I'm going to start modifying a lot of these to where it actually has separate commands. Pick up means you smack it real quick and it picks it up. Recycle means it gives you all or most of or half of the resources. And destroy means it just gets rid of it. You don't want anything, which I don't think anybody's going to do. FPF Boost by Dretax, which was useful. Location plugin, which I'm going to abuse the hell out of today by Dretax. And Resource Spawner plugin by Dretax, which we're going to have a little fun with almost immediately. And we have IP module, whatever that does. And this is the cleaned up version. It's showing that I've set it up with the instructions it comes with because I put them in a text file for server config, half of which were ignored. Not by the game, but by Fougerite overriding it. I had to type in something called /setmasteradmin after I logged in as an admin because I'm not really an admin. It would have been really, really good if that was made very obvious when I logged in that it says you don't have admin powers yet. You have to do this for, and that was for Rust++, or it could have been anything else. Okay, now let's get this image out of the way and look at the actual screen. This will bring up Steam connection failed over and over again eventually. It's incredibly aggravating. It makes me want to scream and throw things. I hate it. Do not introduce into your product something that's dependent on some other website. Yes, it was Steam, it was the distributor, and have it have the ability to show an error message of any kind when, not if, that will protect you forever and will always provide access to your games thing goes away because you decide to remove it from the Steam store. Steam abandoned Rust Legacy. Rust Legacy should abandon Steam. The fact that Fougerite even bothers with the Steam functions is very annoying. I have other server software versions that don't do this. That being said, let's get back to touring our area. First thing here is we're in here, and I've modified the resource spawner. Oh boy, have I. So we're going to type in SPAWN, hit enter, and it should bring up animals, stag, resources, etc. Now I've modified it to where animals doesn't bring me immediately agony by spawning a bunch of monsters. Let's do this. We're going to do SPAWN animals. And I hope it doesn't kick ban me for typing something wrong. By the way, spelling errors cause kick bans? Draytax? Really? Seriously? So anyway, animals have been spawned. And they somehow float up out of the ground, which is not creepy at all. Seriously, that's funny. They just float to the top. I wonder if I could implement that in the water, make the water no longer lethal, and everybody float to the top gradually, to where you could swim. Let's scare some piglets. Squeal, piggy. Okay, okay, that's more than enough. Now we're going to go out here in a flat area, which is what I should have done. I'm going to type in SPAWN RESOURCE. And it did. Now, I'm the one who modified it, so it's my fault. Oh, look at all the bunnies and chickens. Isn't that adorable? So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I've proven it because I script kiddied this by stealing it from Draytax. But this should have been one of the options, and it should have done something a little less obvious. But this is good. I could go around as an admin and do these, X mark the spot areas. It's roughly following the curvature in the game, so I guess I'll have to work on that. I don't know what I'm doing, again. And then finally, SPAWN player. And he'll appear over here, usually way too far away in my opinion. And he does nothing and is named unnamed, and you can walk straight through him because collision hole not included. Okay, so that's enough of that. That was fun. Let's go teleporting. We have the standard things an admin can do, like give items to a player. We select our player first, and we say give item, and we can give me whatever I want. You can also edit this if you know how to type the text. That's why Rusty, while it's not ideal, is pretty damn good. So let's go to select our player. We're going to go to location, and I'm going to pick Crater Valley Peaks. Crater Peak top left is the big one, so we're going to go there first. I'm going to hit teleport, and I'm up here now. And I'm going to go this way, because I keep forgetting this, to where we can actually see the crater a lot easier. It's not perfect, but it's better. So we can see our crater, and it has most of the hallmarks of being an actual impact crater. That's why I always, harp on about it. We're going to go over to the other one in a minute, and again, we have to deal with this unnecessary dialogue by the guy who, Rusty at Archon at Gmail. It's got his name in here. Some disappointing, isn't it? Yes, maybe. But anyway, let's go ahead, and I'm going to teleport to the other peak, the top right one, which is way the F over here. And it's not even that big one. It's a little dinky one over there, but we're going to do it anyway. And we see almost what looks like a similar environment, but obviously it's different. Then we go over here. We have a slightly better view of the crater, but we're not as high up. And no, I didn't add an obvious one for that big one over there, which would have been maybe better. But it is a crater. It's an impact crater. It's patterned that way. Now we're going to go visit some other places in the map. Far off that way, we'll call it west, we have areas that I call harbor or whatever. First, we're going to look at puddle. There's a puddle. We're going to go there. Puddle. And we have to do the dialogue. Better get used to it. And there's a puddle. And I put a shack here. Now, even in admin mode, you can die from the water because Fougerite does that. And it has a bag there. What I did was I went around and spawned bags, built little buildings, spawned resources, chopped wood, and put these boxes almost everywhere. But anyway, there's a puddle. Now we're going to go further around the coastline. And it should be noted that this is on the far west coast. And if we type in location, you can see the rocks. Wherever you see rocks, that's in the lower left-hand part of the map or the lower 16th of the map. There are 16 areas, and only 1/16 of the whole map area for the whole island was made like this. And they added the rock update here. But anyway, we type in location, because we have the location plugin. The first one just gives us our GPS data raw, and then it says you're near Beach Mountain, which we are. If we click our button, we see that Beach Mountain is essentially over here. This is, I've unlabeled. This is my unlabeled copy. Some of you might hate it. I'm starting to hate it because I don't have any landmarks marked on it. But that gives you an idea. And over here we would have what we would, retrocon as being underground pathway leading from the ocean. Or, well, actually, these are areas that were planned for something. You'll see more in a minute.